Hi guys, my name is Spencer and today I'm going to be talking about different parenting styles. Hopefully this applies to you. If not, hopefully it will someday. But parenting can be a difficult task. After all, there's no instruction manual on how to raise children, let alone your children in particular. However, what if I told you how you can become more aware of how you parent? After taking multiple courses on parenting and receiving a certificate in marriage, family, and human relations, I have come to learn how to be more aware of different parenting styles. I also have been able to implement many of these practices in my career working with youth as a behavior technician and in my own home with my child. From my studies, I hope to teach you what I have come to learn and understand, so you too can implement these things and become more aware of how you parent. I cannot promise this information will cause your children to become perfect little angels, but you as a guardian can become more aware of how to parent your child in a way that will make you feel successful. When it comes to parenting, there are 4 types of parents: authoritative, passive, neglectful, and authoritarian. Each parenting style has its pros and cons. However, there is one parenting style that is better overall. As you listen, you'll be able to recognize what type of parenting style you use, and you will learn how to change that style to better support your individual children. I know that parenting is not always easy. There are days when you don't know if you're winning or losing as a parent. Remember, my goal is to help you become more aware of how you are parenting so you can know and feel you are being successful. Let us begin discussing the neglectful parenting style. Neglectful parenting has been defined with the following characteristics: uninvolved, indifferent, and dismissive. When hearing some of these characteristics, it can be hard not to cringe with disgust at the idea of parenting in this manner. However, sadly, there are neglectful parents. But it's not my job or your job to criticize and judge how others choose to parent. Let us remember your purpose today is to learn how you parent. So, with a look at the characteristics of neglectful parenting in mind, take a look at an example. Imagine a living room with toys spread out on the carpet stained floor. As you gaze up from looking at the messy floor, you see 2 elementary school aged children arguing with each other over who gets to play with the Nerf gun. The arguing gets a little intense, and the younger sibling gets knocked down to the ground and begins to pout. Your gaze now shifts to the sofa just above where the children are playing, and you see the children's guardian sitting and scrolling through Instagram. The child who is pouting approaches the parent and says, "I'm sad because I wanted to play with the toy." The parent then looks up briefly at the child and hands them the TV remote, saying, "Go watch something, I'm busy right now." Looking back at the characteristics of neglectful parenting, can you see how this parent was uninvolved and dismissive towards the child's feelings? Now, some of you might be asking yourself the question, why would anybody choose a parent in this way? One of the pros or ideas behind neglectful parenting is making children tougher and stronger for life's challenges. Giving them the difficult experiences so they become more independent. Some of the cons to parenting in this way are the effects that it can leave behind. Children can become impulsive. They find it difficult to regulate emotion. They are more likely to encounter delinquency and addictions. And they have more mental health issues as a whole. The next parenting style we're going to discuss is permissive parenting. The definition of this style of parenting is being nurturing and warm, but reluctant to impose limits. The first part of the definition is important for children, but the later part has the potential to cause problems. If you're wondering if this shoe fits your foot, here's some questions you can ask yourself. Do I ignore my child's bad behavior? Do I give in to my child when he or she causes a commotion about something? Do I bribe my child with rewards to get him to comply with my wishes? If you're wondering what permissive parenting may look like, here's an example. You're a parent. Look down at your phone to check the time. It reads 12:22 a.m. 30 seconds go by, and you look at your phone again. It's still 12:22 a.m. You begin muttering to yourself how late it is and that your child should have been home 22 minutes ago. Not to mention, this is the 4th time this week they have been out late. You hear the door open. Whoosh, it shuts. you hear your child running quietly up the stairs, where you stand to greet them. Did you have a fun night, you ask, catching them off guard. Oh, you scared me, they respond. I thought you would be asleep, but yeah, I had a great night. You see how happy they are, so you let out a sigh. Tell them you're glad they had fun, and tell them to go to bed. Can you see from the story how the parent ignored the child's bad behavior, staying out past curfew? Did you notice that the parent chooses to reward the child's behavior with a hug and positive affirmation? Parenting in the permissive style offers this benefit. It allows children to exercise equal power with their parents. The negative side of permissive parenting may look like the following. Children may increase in levels of aggression over time. There's a possible increase of alcohol consumption in teenagers. Children may also have poor self-control, low self-esteem, and perform less well in school. Now let us discuss the authoritarian parenting style. Authoritarian parenting is having high levels of control and low levels of warmth. Control is to be thought of as demandingness, and warmth thought of as responsiveness. An authoritarian parent gives high demands that are expected to be obeyed, and when they are disobeyed, when they are obeyed, there's little to no reinforcement for completing the demand. To determine if you fall into this category of parenting, ask yourself the following questions. When I ask my child to do something and he asks why, I say something like, because I said so. Another question to ask is, do I yell or shout when my child misbehaves? An example of authoritarian parenting is the following. Hey son, come here, you shout. Coming, you hear in the response. When your child arrives by your side, you say, son, I'm afraid you can't go out tonight. To which your son says, but Dad, why not? Because I said so, you bark back as your son turns away and marches off upset at the news. Now you could have told your son it was because you had to wake up early and could not be running him around all night, or whatever logical explanation you can think of. However, authoritarian parents expect their children to obey without having to give an explanation. The cons to authoritative parenting are kids are less resourceful, less socially adept, and more likely to become involved in bullying. Studies also show this parenting style interferes with learning. The last parenting style is authoritative parenting. The authoritative parenting style is an approach to child rearing that combines warmth, sensitivity, and the setting of limits. Parents and guardians look to reinforce children in a positive way and reason or compromise with them as well. Authoritative parents stray away from threats or punishments. An authoritative parent considers the wishes and feelings of their children when making decisions and encourages their children to talk about their feelings. Authoritative parenting may look like an adult taking time to explain to their child why they cannot get a toy from the store or go play with their friend. It may also be seen as parents praising their children for the hard work they put in to get a better grade. You may even decide to work out a deal with your child that if they complete their chores, they can have 10 minutes on their electronics before they start their homework. One of the cons of the authoritative parenting are children can go through a rebellious phase during adolescence. Another is it requires parents to continually adapt to their children's behaviors as they grow. However, the authoritative parenting style encourages independence in children and allows for flexibility between the parent and child. To recap what we've talked about today, we talked about the 4 types of parenting: authoritative, permissive, neglectful, and authoritarian. With each of these parenting styles, we have looked at the pros and cons of each. But most importantly, we have looked at the characteristics that parents have pertaining to each style of parenting. With the knowledge of these characteristics, you can now decide what type of parent you would like to be and begin to develop those characteristics. No, parenting is not easy, and you will not always know what you are doing. However, you now know what kind of parent you are and want to become. Although the parenting styles may differ depending on the child and your situation, they all yield some positive outcomes. No, most importantly, it is now your choice to parent your children how you would like. Remember that it is the authoritative parenting style that will help you and your children feel the most successful. It'll take practice getting there, but with time and patience, it will come. To end, I encourage you, especially on those rough days, to look back on the pros of each parenting style and know that you are succeeding at parenting in some way. Thank you.